Hello and welcome to Session 7 of God's Great Love Story. This week we'll be discussing what we learned about the early church in the week 6 readings and how we might live out Jesus' vision for our community in our lives and in our culture. So this is the front room of my house and it's a very special place to me. Whenever my boys aren't playing soccer or hockey or laundry basket bobsledding in here, it's kind of an oasis for me. Here I can play my piano, sing and write songs. I can pick out a book from the bookshelf and escape to another world entirely. Or I can sit here at the table and color, think, look out the window, or do a puzzle. Like many of you, I lead a noisy, busy life outside my home. I have a planner full of learning and enrichment activities for my boys. I have a planner full of social and church events. I have part-time music therapy work. I have tasks related to my writing. I'm also in graduate school right now, and I always have an assignment to work on there. That's a lot of moving parts, and anyone who knows me well can tell you I am an introvert to the core. I love all the people in my life. I love my community, my church, my school, my career, all the things. But all that activity can also suck the energy right out of me. And I need some quiet time to just refuel and recharge and feel like myself again. And this is the room where I do a lot of that. I especially love puzzles because you get to take all these tiny, unique pieces and make something bigger, more complex, more beautiful than any one piece could be on its own. To me, that's kind of like what the church is supposed to be. Each piece is equipped with its own set of bumps and ridges. Each piece has its own myriad of textures, colors, and details. Like a puzzle piece, each person in this world is unique too. We have our own specific combination of strengths, challenges, relationships, and experiences that allow us to fit into one specific place in the world and fulfill one specific piece of God's larger plan. In Ephesians, Paul uses a similar metaphor of the human body to describe the same phenomenon. The body is made up of different parts like the ears, eyes, and hands that all have different abilities and different functions. Each part is different, but we all need each other to have a fully functioning, complete body. Within our spiritual communities, God doesn't want us to fit some cookie-cutter representation of what we think a churchy person is supposed to be. If all the pieces of this puzzle were the same, it would be pretty boring and it wouldn't fit together very well. If all the parts of the body did the same thing, our abilities would be pretty limited too. God wants us to be uniquely and beautifully true to ourselves, expressing our own unique combination of strengths, challenges, relationships, all of the things that make us us. When we live like the people we were made to be, eventually we learn where we naturally fit into the larger plan, the people we fit with, and how people dramatically different from us fit into the big picture too. When we start with authenticity and unity in our churches, that enables us to love each other well. It enables us to learn from each other and better understand and appreciate God through that. It enables us to lift others up and serve our communities in many beautiful ways. In the week 6 readings, I hope you discovered how simple and beautiful the church is meant to be. In its most basic form, it's just a group of people who enthusiastically love God, accept His matchless grace, and honor that grace by respecting each other and serving the world. Different letters break down different pieces of that. For example, 1 Corinthians really discusses how we heal divisions in our churches and how we make love the highest priority. Galatians has some beautiful descriptors about what it means to accept God's grace and allow His Spirit to guide our attitudes and our actions. Ephesians, as we mentioned before, focuses on unity. Philippians focuses on the uncontainable joy we get to experience when we're plugged in. Timothy advises us how to be a positive leader within our communities. James focuses on how our changed heart might lead us toward loving, amazing actions that we wouldn't be able to maintain apart from God. In your discussion today, I hope that you'll take the time to discuss what you learned this week about the church and what it should be. Think about the most beautiful aspects of your church, if you have one, as well as what could be better and how you can help be a part of that change. Think about how you also might apply these guiding principles and lessons to your life outside the church, at work, at school, at home, in your relationships. Think about the truths that draw each of these letters together, as well as the unique perspectives and passages that set each beautiful letter apart from the others. As we approach the final week of this journey, we've already explored 65 of the 66 books that make up what we know as the Bible. That's pretty amazing, and I hope you've been able to have fun while learning and growing in your understanding of it. In the final readings this week, it's time to explore the 66th and final book of the Bible, called Revelation. Revelation is unique because unlike the historical books that discuss events that had already happened, or the prophecy books that discuss approaching events that happened many centuries ago, there are predictions in Revelation that have not yet happened. This is a prophecy book full of rich, descriptive symbolism, much like Ezekiel and Jeremiah. But unlike those books that predicted details and events unfolding around the exile and the return from exile, Revelation predicts circumstances and events that will unfold at the end of this earthly age. Understandably, the interpretation of the symbols and passages in this book is widely debated. I spent many hours reading books and listening to sermons by people much smarter than me to better understand this complex book and learn how to interpret it in a way that coincides with what I know to be true about our loving, mighty God. As you read my interpretation, I invite you to also read your preferred translation of Revelation in the Bible, challenging my interpretation if you find something that doesn't sit right with you. I invite you to do that. I invite you to bring your unique perspectives and insights to group next week when you discuss Revelation as well. During your final 2 daily readings this week, you'll have a chance to put down my book and pick up your preferred translation of the Bible, revisiting some of your favorite passages you discovered during this 7-week journey, and hopefully starting a daily habit of exploring the Bible and having conversation with God that will continue when this study ends. I hope you have a great discussion with your group today, and I hope you enjoy the final readings of God's great love story. See you next week.